got 10 people on, so we're good to go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Newington, Connecticut, and our friends, the Callahan family. We are here at Callahan's Bowl-o-Rama, and we are here for the stepladder final of the Cambridge Credit Corporation Invitational. This is one of the most special tournaments of the year with $7,000 added money. Bruce Hall here with you, along with the newest TechVision live stream personality, Kyle Rasmussen. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Bruce.
And also joining us is Ball Driller to the Stars and $12,500 sponsor for NEBA from BuddiesProShop.com, Mr. Chris Forey. Hey, Chris.
Good evening, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. And we are on a very interesting oil pattern. It is a 2-to-1 sport shot down 45 feet, 27 mils of oil. Let's talk about our competitors first, then we'll talk about the shot a little bit. In first place, running away with the qualifying was Bill Webb, no surprise there. Second was Joey Transoon. We just got done with our position round where Billy and Joey held their position without any drama. In third place is Michael Mirabile, who doubled in the 10th to pass three guys he was behind. He was ready to shoot 150. He doubles in the 10th to shoot 161 to hold his third place position at plus 380. And in fourth place, RJ Broge holds his position at plus 378, exactly one pin ahead of fifth place Rob Gotterbarn, who just missed the stepladder. So we will have our first match here. It will be RJ Broge against Michael Mirabile. So, Mr. Forey, can you tell us a little bit about the pattern? Tell us how these guys are going to play it, and what is this 45 feet behaving like?
Well, the pattern actually, for a longer pattern, it's obviously got OB left and right, but the middle of the lane hooks a lot more than we think it does.
Doesn't it, though? It did this morning, too. Even with 4-to-1 ratio this morning, there was a lot more hook than we expected.
Yeah, so, I mean, if anybody goes online and looks at the pattern, it is on bowl-o-rama.com, but the pattern, and it's also on our Facebook page, but on the front run, the pattern stops at 27 feet, so then it's buffed out to 45. So think about it, it's actually a fairly short pattern in the middle.
That's how it's behaving.
And then on the way back, the pattern starts at, they start dropping oil at 25 feet, reverse drop rush lands at 35. So the pattern for a longer one plays very short spots. So that was a weird thing. You couldn't go, and we saw Mirabile actually try and practice here. I don't know how many shots we saw of him in practice, but he was trying to charcoal up the outside of the lane a little bit with a ball.
And then he moved into what looked like, inside a fourth arrow.
So it was really hard to play to the right. Now the one that's the bowler that obviously killed him today, and then we see RJ flag a spare. The bowler that just ran him over was Webb, who seemed like he was playing about 20-10, and he had left. It was the most incredible thing. Like his ball.
He was rolling it so forward, and he had a lot of surface.
Yeah, he was using an X3 pin up.
It seemed to burn up quickly, and then it would just roll forward and just lay off. It was amazing.
Yeah, it looks like Mirabile's going with the new Widow 2.0 hybrid.
Yeah, I was amazed at how the mid lane reacted when you got it down. So this is exactly what you're describing, Chris. And that's inside of fourth arrow.
Well, that's a big core. So I mean, the final thing I didn't look at the pattern. I'll be honest, I didn't look at the pattern. I just knew it was long. So I charred up a whole bunch of balls, and I came. And then after I bowled, I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of guys that were doing the same thing.
I think you get faked out by the word long, and then when you look now I'm actually looking at the pattern. That's why I finally took the sheet, and I'm like, well, this explains why the middle of the lane had no hold.
Normally, you look for hold on a long pattern like this, and sometimes you can throw it right up the hold, and even lower ratio pattern. That's one on a chop. So how about open?
How about RJ with a 1-pin lead after one?
after flagging a 6-pin.
Yeah, but you can look at the outside, like you and I talk about, and a lot of people look at the 300 number on the outside of the lane. So the outside of the lane's got I don't have my glasses on. That looks about 500 or 600 on the outsides. Can you read that?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep. Looks like 450.
Yeah, it's pretty high. So that's why you didn't see anybody try playing the gutter.
Yeah.
So sometimes on long patterns you can actually go out, but I didn't see anybody try. I thought Viali might try. We talked about the other day.
Well, the thing is, there was zero hold.
That was a great shot.
Nothing to work with.
It seemed like the people that bowled the best could get the ball around the front of the lane very early and slow, or you had Webb, who was just throwing it to the track. But we saw Transu, who's obviously coming up next, Mirabile here. The folks that bowled really well were able to feed the ball into the track early, to avoid any down the lane OB. I thought Andrew had a great look game, one when I bowl win, but then the problem was you thought you had something. Great shot by RJ. You thought you had something, and then literally you had to move 5 left.
That's what happened to Andrew. He shoots 240s leading after one.
No, I bowl with him. I was like, oh, he's got a great look.
160, 180. Next 3.
Yeah.
I had nothing.
I feel like I averaged about 175 on the day, and it was missed the headpin maybe twice all day to the right. And I'm like, this just – I just couldn't get over the hump. You throw a double, and then it's like your ball went high or bucketed, or it's just weird. You try to stay ahead of the moves.
So to talk about Bill Webb's dominance in this event,
Incredible.
You talk about how the good look he had. You had 24
understatement.
opponents in match play, right? You had everybody else that you bowled.
Yep, we bowled 24.
And
RJ
he was
double.
21 and 3. And Joey Transu 18
21 and 3.
21 and 3.
21 and 3.
Joey Transu 18 and 6. Michael Mirabile 14 and 7, and Broge 15 and 9. Joey Transu trailed Webb by 203 pins.
I feel like
the
Webb
end of
on
the
the
day.
day. Do we know what Webb actually averaged without the bonus? Does it have it on there? I'm sure we can ask Kipperman to figure it out.
He's got 420 bonus pins minus 665. So that would be
245. So
245
average.
times 8.
230 plus
230,
average for 8
230
games.
small over that.
Yeah,
230
on
average.
not an easy pattern.
I don't think he switched balls once. He stayed in the same ball for 8
Was that
games.
X3? I said to Jay Johnson, I said, I don't even think he moved his feet all day.
I wouldn't be surprised. He put on a clinic in match play.
It was incredible. I mean, I bowled him, and even when I tried, I feel like sometimes Webb and I talk, and I try to match up to him. I was like, oh, let me just take my hand out. Even the last game of position round, I was on my own pair. You get 5 minutes of practice. I'm like, let me just chase it back right a little bit, take my hand out. Threw like a 3-4 bagger. We come out 6-10, 6-10. I move 5 left, 3 in a row good ones, and then just missed one. I was like, the guy's incredible. And we were laughing because then he had the front 5 or 6.
And Mirabile just finds that OB right and will not slow down and make the corner. Both bowlers open double, but Mirabile now with a washout.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that what saves Webb compared to the other guys, his ball's not getting anywhere near the OB.
No, he kept it away from him.
His ball's like 12, maybe the dark board down the lane 10, but his ball's like left.
Well, it's completely tumbling forward. I mean, everything is just forward.
And one
there's
is bad.
Out.
That
one
is a
out
lot.
for Mirabile, and that's going to be costly, putting him in the 58 in the rim. That puts him at 22 under. Yes, is that right? Yeah, right now.
So challenging is a good word for it. I think there were times you thought like, oh, I got a good look. Like you said, you think you got a good look, and then it just
changes so fast.
Yeah.
Well, 27 mils, 45 feet, just in general, is going to break down quickly. And, with these older surfaces, which seems to be everywhere now, the heads go faster and faster.
Yep, and I think guys also, like you said, they came in with everybody sparked their balls right away. Great shot by RJ.
The triple for RJ.
That's what I was going to bring up, Chris, is everybody came in with surface, and when that amount of surface is going down the lane on something that probably didn't need that amount of surface, it dramatically changes the way that the lane plays.
And if you sat, it's hard to see it front to back sometimes when you're sitting behind people, but if you looked to the left or right when you were sitting, you could see balls hit the lane and stand up instantly. Like the pin-up ball stood up. Like first game you got away with a little bit because there was fresh oil, but games 2, 3, you saw the ball stand up, and I think if we never moved, if we would have stayed in the 1 to 20 bay for all 8 games, you would have had guys in front of the ball return trying to throw it in the air because the front of the lane just sparks so much.
Once again, the winner of this match faces Joey Transu, and the winner of that match faces runaway leader Bill Webb.
Yeah, Transu looking to go back-to-back after his win in East Hartford, so definitely something to look out for.
He's looking to win 3 straight weekends.
Correct.
That's right.
He won the
trying to have a Jay
doubles.
Johnson year.
That's right. Roll it, don't throw it. That was the most memorable line from an interview maybe ever I've heard.
I think
RJ going for 4, and how about?
And he gets 4. Way to
going
go there. Way to go, Bruce.
Spoken into existence.
He was going
Before
for
the ball
4.
even hits the headpin, Bruce calls 4.
That's the darkest cloud there is, right there.
And the bad thing about that is that's count back after the 6-1.
That's right.
Because you're not making this. I mean, let's say this. It's almost like 1%.
You're not going to pencil that one in?
You hope to get 4.
It'll be very interesting where the match is after this. Let's see how many
that might be
he gets.
2. They got the 4.
He gets the 4, so It's going to put him.
And look at RJ's face. He's just like, "We got to be kidding me."
89, but he's still 11 up because he did have that extra strike.
Yeah,
so.
RJ looked over at us and said, "Oh, that one was pretty good."
Yeah.
That's an MV Tour he's throwing, which is a pretty weak. So just to talk about how the shot is. I mean, that's a very low asymmetric core. Not a very big ball, small flares, and we could see the ball changing direction pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't practice a lot, I think, to try and make sure his lane stayed fresh. That's going the other way. That's pretty
Beautiful
good.
shot there. He's way deep. I mean, he's laying it down on 38.
I just feel whatever.
37?
Yeah, he's in there with a big core, which like I said, that was miss room not a lot. He's using a really tall pinball, so the ball's going to go forward. If he gets it to the OB, it's just going to go dead forward.
That's what it did in the washout.
Yep. And you have no left. Transu, when he comes out, I'm going to say he was throwing MV Tour all day too, so a little weaker ball. Same one he used to win at Silver.
Now, before the matches started, they oiled these, correct?
They got fresh oil. They got 10 minutes of practice. The 4 guys did. 4-9. And he only missed by maybe 1.5 left. So little left.
He's saying there's no miss.
Well, it's just no miss. And I think when you see Transu come on, it'll be a little different because he's not going to use as big of a ball, so that'll give him a little bit miss room.
Well, the first game of match play, he threw that archetype.
Yeah, no,
and his ball was literally like screwing into the front part of the lane.
No, he blows right by it.
Yeah, he's using right now practice
out.
over on the 21-2. He's over on the practice pair. He's using the MV Tour to warm up.
Take a look at the scores here.
Well, unfortunately, Mike Mirabile pacing to 164. RJ pacing to 189. That would be a 25 pin advantage for RJ right now. Hey, guys, I don't think you could ask for a better tournament. We had 40 cashers out of 77 bowlers.
You do the math, that's over 50%.
That's pretty good. 13 of the top 16 showed up for a match play. That's an automatic check if you finish in the top 16 in the points.
Great ball.
All right, shot
like
there
that one.
by RJ. He's going up and over the front, it seems.
Yeah.
I saw Aaron Major do that, and I thought that was a really cool idea. I don't know where Aaron even finished that. I don't know if we have the final sheet. We do, actually.
We do. We could take a look at it.
I thought I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was a cool concept because you're taking out a little bit of the over-under.
As I've moved in, I found more and more you had to throw it over the front, not so much for the over-under, but because you're crossing the right-handed heads, especially if all the righties have moved in.
23rd. Aaron finished 23rd.
Okay. I mean, I only bowled next to him like twice, but I was like, oh, that's not bad. I've never seen him really try to do that, but he was getting out to about the arrows.
Any lefty that's going in finds more and more you have to loft it.
Yeah, you're trying to just get over the right fronts.
Even there, look at that. Is that going to recover? Barely.
Lucky to get the 7 out there.
Phil Frames. Do we have the lane pattern from this morning?
We do.
The 4-1.
I think your middle buff, your distance was longer on the front load. Yeah, you can see it was more.
Yeah.
So there's
qualifying. Yeah. Look at all that hold. My gosh.
You guys had tons of hold. That's why the scoring pace was higher. Yeah. So just to give an example, this morning's pattern, which they bowled on 2 different patterns. The bowlers that bowled this morning had like Bruce said, a 4-1 pattern, but the front run stopped at 34 feet. Reverse drop was 32, so that's where the return oil started at 25, but it dropped to 32. So you had that little more shim, and there was a lot less volume on the outsides.
Mark Bouchard led scoring this morning, 221 over.
He bowled
Rob
very well.
Gotterbarn, 172, misses by 1 pin, the step ladder. And the cut was Matthew Brockett at plus 67.
But you can see how fast it checked off the spot, though, which means the next one could go the other really hard.
And I think, Chris, looking at both patterns, I got both graphs right here in front of me.
Yeah.
I think what everybody got tricked was they saw the amount of oil in the front for the match play pattern,
absolutely.
and they assumed I'm going to need duller, bigger bowling balls.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, we bowled as silver on this pattern, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago, the last time this one was out. And silver was very tight. Now, they had newer lane beds then, but they played very tight as silver. When we moved to the other side of the house, they were like so tight. You had to throw charcoal. And I think that's what some guys thought that here, too.
He likes this one.
That was a really good shot.
There's a double to get himself back in this match.
I'm just trying to figure out how he sees with the hair in his eyes.
He was down 25, now down 15. And let's see how RJ responds. It's our first of 3 stepladder matches we'll be bringing you tonight. Callahan's Bowl-o-Rama Cambridge Credit Counseling Invitational. Thank you so much to Christopher Viali and Amy, of course, last night. Had a wonderful time at the Hall of Fame and awards dinner. And Chris Forey, thanks for all your work on that.
Oh, you're welcome.
A lot of fun.
RJ hasn't missed on this one.
There's a 6-pin.
There's the black cloud again.
Got our new Hall of Famers. John Kirker, of course, makes the finals here. And Ryan Graywax, Joe Navarra, Eric Copping, and of course Debbie Brogan.
It was a spectacular evening. Venue was great. I thought it was a really well put together.
Food was very good.
Amy did a great job. Yeah, the food
great
was
desserts.
Awesome.
That cake was fun.
My wife picked up from BJ's.
Love the NEBA sheet cakes. The BJ sheet cakes are great.
Yeah, no, so
yeah, they're tasty.
Yeah, everybody a little.
I never got a piece of cake. It's sad.
You should have talked to Gasco. He took the rest of it home with him.
Did he really?
And he took the cookie, some of the cookies.
I brought
there was a cookie tray here.
I took the cookie tray and I brought it in this morning.
No, Gasco, I'm saying he took some cookies with him too.
Sure he did. Of course, Mr. Gasman. And there's
Head up the hill.
Way out to the lunch. That would be a 3 count for Broge on a spare with the lead. And now we have a 7-pin match, my friends. That was a very costly 3 count.
There's a big spare here.
And huge spare. Imagine this. Mirable could take the lead on the bench.
Taking very little time.
RJ is just kind of getting up there and throwing at it. Throwing it slow. Turns up.
Oh,
and
wow.
Carries it. That was in the pocket. That would have struck. And keeps his lead unless Mirable can strike here and take the lead by 3. It turned out to be a pretty good match, guys. I thought RJ was going to run away with it after that triple.
It's pretty similar to the position round. These were the two that were going back and forth.
That's right.
And you had 3 guys next to them that were trying to, make their way into the final.
Yeah, we had 4 guys within 10 pins for these last 2 spots. And there's Michael.
That's really good shot.
He likes it.
And rips the rack, takes the lead into the 10th. Cannot be shut out. It's ball in hand for Mike Mirable if he can put a double together. All of a sudden he goes from written off. He's about to shoot 150, doubles in the 10th to shoot 160, passes 3 guys, gets onto the step ladder, controls his fate now. He can move on to meet Joey Tranzu.
I mean, think about it, like even RJ, when he missed the 4-7 in the 10th, I'm like, he's done. I couldn't believe it. And then they're doing all the math. And I'm going to tell you that's the first time in the position round that somebody from the top 4 didn't get knocked out of it.
Well, we were almost awarding a spot.
Stood up on that one.
To
blower 710.
Blower 710 for Mike Mirable. Can't believe it. Now
he can only get to 170.
He's up on count 60. Well, he could if he makes it. He can still get to 182, but he's probably going to get 9, which would be 61-170. So
RJ needs a mark.
RJ needs a mark.
Now, on this pair earlier, believe it or not, I watched somebody leave the Greek church, and they made the 710.
I did see that.
That was Glenn Gauthier. He bounced the 710 out on this pair.
Well, it's not for lack of speed. He throws it hard. He almost slides it over.
Slid it over.
Now, if he had the 7-8-9-10, he probably would have made it.
He might have made that.
Or even if he had the 7-9-10.
7-9-10 might have done it. And Mike Mirable, 170.
I'm concerned RJ put super glue on his thumb here, so I'm a little worried.
He did.
I was going to say, Michael, don't leave. Whatever you do, you never know.
I'm not a fan of super glue on the thumb.
Bill Webb came over, and it looked like he gave him a piece of new skin, and he super glued it.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of that idea.
And here we go. RJ Broge needs a mark.
I'm praying his thumb comes out of the ball. Well, he did.
He cleared
Pretty
that
good
one.
shot.
Oh,
my Lord! Rips a 710
for
RJ Broge. Oh, my God. What a turn of events.
Can you bounce it out, RJ?
Both bowlers rip through the pocket, and both bowlers rip 710s.
I think this one's going to be fast.
Mike Mirable
I don't think he can knuckleball enough.
Mike is just shrugging. He can't believe it. This is about as fast as it goes. It goes by them both.
Unbelievable.
And Mike Mirable, through a miraculous 10th frame, will move on to face Joey Tranzu. My goodness, what a turn of events. That is amazing.
167 to 170. Mirable moves on.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
We are going to stay on the horn here, guys, and we'll keep talking about what's coming up on this match. if we can talk about some of our sponsors, Mr. Kyle.
Absolutely, yeah. While the next bowler's coming up for practice here, let's get our sponsors in here. So Tony and Susan Renaud donating $1,000 to the Masters. Ace Mitchell Bowling. Sorry, I thought my mic was turned off. Ace Mitchell Bowling, Vinny Grazin adding $500. Better Bowling Concepts, William Daly, $500. Storm Products International, Leanne Holzenberg, again for donating 2 balls for every event. Buddy's Pro Shop, Chris Forey, adding $12,500 into the prize fund. Our title sponsor here, Cambridge Credit Counseling Corporation, Chris and Amy Viali, adding $3,500 into this tournament. Logo Infusion, Kenny Keegan, Strike Effects Pro Shops, John Van Hees, Alex Aguiar adding $500 into the prize fund. Turbo Grips, Chris Sand adding $500. Our very own Bruce Hall here, TechVision. Thank you, Bruce, adding $1,000.
You're welcome. Maybe next time I won't turn down your mic. How's that?
Yankee Lanes, Keen, Jeffrey Barden adding $2,000. Bullwinkle's Pro Shop, that was our last event. Rich Reynolds adding $500. Savage Arms, Al Casper adding $500. He also sponsors our league on Friday night, so thanks, Al, for that. Callahan's Bowl-o-Rama, right here where we're hosting the event, adding, let's take a look here, $5,500 into the prize funds. DJ's Pro Shop, John Zawalik, $500. Many Styles of Bowling, Lou Marlowe, $500. Bloomfield Electric, Roger Burrell, adding $2,500 to the Masters event. GMS Concrete, Clay Schwartz, adding $2,500 for $15 for the doubles and $1,000 to the over/under. Dexter Bowling, Paul Silva, adding $500. KR Strike Force, Tony Mendiola, adding $1,000 into the general prize fund. Grog Monsters Sports, Greg Flamand, my old teammate, adding $500 into the general prize fund. East Coast Sports Investors, Jeff Dawson, adding $500 into the prize fund. Again, Yankee Lanes Manchester, thanks again to Jeff Barden, adding $5,000. Ideal Bowling Concepts, Keith Lanning, $500. DJBT, Jeff Purchase, adding $500. UsedBowlingBalls.com, Michael Pincus, adding $500. And, of course, Island Bowling Supply, Joe Farley. They're going to be raffling off 2 bowling balls for each live event here. So remember, everybody, it's important. We're in the stepladder final now. For a chance to win those bowling balls, again, you got to like and share the stream. That's it. And then 2 winners will be picked at random by myself. We'll reach out to you. And again, those balls are not ball of choice. They will be coming from Island Bowling Supply. But again, all you have to do is like and share the feed, and you will be eligible to win a free bowling ball.
So it doesn't get any easier than that. All you have to do is like and share. And let's get some viewership numbers up. We got some fantastic matches coming up. You can see the number 1 and number 2 seeds practicing. They each get 3 shots on each pair, on each lane if they want it. Webb is getting up, just throwing some shots, just seeing how it's breaking down. And you can see Dave Kipperman in the front there running things. And boy, I can't. What a turn of events! I mean, imagine if you're RJ, you make a shot like that, comes up blower 7-10 after Mirables, after you thought you were given the match through a blower 7-10. So unbelievable turn of events there.
Mirables had put his balls away and was ready to walk out the door.
He was walking out, and now that's what RJ's doing, unfortunately. But what a finish. And, of course, thanks so much to Christopher Viali, again, for all you do for the sport. And, of course, one of the inductees last night, Eric Hopping, has 2 very distinct points of notoriety. One is he was the winner of the inaugural Megabucks tournament last year around Thanksgiving. And if you haven't heard about this tournament or you haven't made your reservations, I would strongly suggest doing it. Christopher has found sponsorships for the Megabucks that are rivaling NEBA sponsorships, and that's just in one weekend. So it's a huge payoff tournament. And squads start on Thanksgiving Day and go in through the weekend. So you want to definitely start making your plans there for that tournament. And the other thing about Eric Hopping is he won the first TechVision live stream event way back in 2016 at Keene. And it was just myself with a iPhone and some headsets that I plugged into the iPhone and called the match. And boy, imagine when we started. I can't imagine. It's been 7 years we've been doing this live stream. It's been so much fun, and great to have you on board, Kyle, with us. And
happy to be here.
Chris, can't thank you enough for all the color commentary and all the help you've given on the live stream. So
looks like we're about to get started here. Joey just got done with his warm-ups. Looks like the names are up. Looking just to get the match started.
Are we waiting? What are we doing? Looks like Joey's going to start on the left lane.
It appears so.
I think so. Yeah, you can start.
Any thoughts on this match, guys? Who do you like?
Well,
yeah, I don't know why they're waiting. Maybe we need to give them the go sign. Yeah, they can go. What are they waiting for?
Mirable looked like he just needed to step away for a second.
Oh, Mike Mirable. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Joey was waiting for him.
Probably needs to collect himself to say, wow, that match I just
I think
won.
everybody was wondering, like the staff was like, what,
well,
are
like,
we bowling?
You
What
can
are we
start.
doing?
Yeah, you guys can start if you want.
Yeah, Bruce, you just asked what are our thoughts on the match?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Joey.
I'll play the game. I'll go with Mirable. That's a big win after thinking you're out of the match.
Yeah, I just think unless he balls down to a smaller ball, I think you're going to see Joey. He'll be able to play in there where he's at, but his using a weaker ball will give him a little bit more left and right.
Yeah. Well, I guess Joey's almost as deep. I mean, and look at that reaction he's getting in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's like I said, a much weaker ball compared to like Mirable, like I said, using a very big core, like the biggest core that's made out of the Brunswick factory, and the ball it's going to stand up fast.
Yeah.
And he's using a polished ball, so when it does stand up, it's going to go really quick off of it. Where Joey's using a duller ball, weaker core, can control the mid lane a little bit more.
Well, it looked like Mirable actually
brought
a different ball up on the rack. So
yeah, but he went to another big ball. If he has a outer limits up on the rack, which is is also another strong piece.
It's the new Radical release, I believe.
I'm not sure Joey had a lot of faith in that 10-pin conversion, but he does pull it off.
So he's going to stick with the Black Widow hybrid.
Yep. Remember, guys, like and share the feed. Gets you entered into that raffle for the 2 bowling balls.
I see Fred Callahan on the feed. Thank you, Fred, for joining us.
You see how it stood up?
And that just stood up and went forward. It did not slow down and turn. Super washout, Mike Mirable. So what would you have him move to in the line? I mean,
I'm sure he has an MV Tour like everybody else does in the company.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of their best balls they make, particularly on the flatter patterns, because it just controls the lane really well with a little touch off of it, so it's not like sideways. I just think he's using way too big of a ball.
Yeah,
I mean, he could even try probably like if he had like a symmetrical ball, like a Stealth or something. I think also, like I said, he's also got a really tall pin on it, so a combination of big core burning up fast and a tall pin going forward.
He just grabbed a different ball.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It looked like a solid.
Might be. He might have gone to a Rattler. Nope.
Nope.
That
might be an MV
Tour.
Tour.
MV Tour.
It's an MV Tour.
Oh, here we go.
Is it an MV Tour or a regular Black Widow? I see. It's hard to tell. We'll see when it comes back here.
Once again, it's a stepladder final of the Cambridge Credit Invitational. And, well, didn't look like he really committed to that shot. He kind of just laid off it and reared up on it.
Stood up pretty quick, too. Let's see what the ball is coming back.
Yeah. $7,000 added money between NEBA and Cambridge Credit. Cambridge Credit Counseling for all your credit needs. Oop. Chris needs a turn down. He's going to go scout. He's actually going to leave the booth, go out and do a field report. Let's see what he finds out when he comes back. And here's Mirable, covers the 3-6 without any trouble. And let's see what Joey can do if he can just jump out to the early lead here.
Okay, so yeah, it was confirmed. He did switch to an NV Tour, so they're both actually throwing an NV Tour in this match.
Yeah, Joey's got now his layout. I saw Joey's earlier because I bowled with him. His layout is a little more of a weaker one compared to Michael's. So he's got the pin probably about 5 inches from his axis. So really reduce the flare a little bit more.
He's grabbing, and it looks like an
Obsession Tour. Same ball, just different color. That's a Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. So nice lefty shot there by Joey.
Yeah, so I wonder if the Obsession Tour's got a little different layout. Maybe we go check that out.
Now, this MV Tour that Joey's throwing is the same one he threw in East Hartford, correct?
Don't know.
I was getting the nod yes from Forey.
So oh, okay, okay.
He stepped away again.
I know you're not asking
scouting.
me that question. I know that's so there you go. I'd like to welcome everybody to the feed. Please share and like the feed, and we will automatically enter you in a random drawing for one of the 2 bowling balls from Island Bowling Supply. Shout out to Mr. Farley and Peter Hakem. Joe and Peter run that show down there, have for a long, long time. And great shot there. Blower 7. 5-pin right in front of the 7 for the double. There's a huge break for Mirable.
So the last tournament winners were Dennis Bissonette Senior and Danny Koo.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations to those guys, yeah. And then, of course, Storm gives us 2 balls to give away each time. And one is to someone who enters through online. So if you enter by the deadline, you're automatically entered into the ball raffle. That was won by Chris Soul. I crossed with Chris this morning. He just missed the finals. And first out of the finals always gets a ball as a little bit of a consolation prize. That would be Justin Goodspeed this morning. So congratulations to those 2 folks. And that is a certificate that you get where you can send that into Storm for any ball you want of any of the 3 lines.
So we have a ball change. Going to an Obsession Tour, so pretty much the same ball. They're same thing, just different color. Layout's a little different. The pin is super tall on this one.
He's got some surface on it. And
it's fresh out of the box.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It looks like it just drilled. You see the pencil lines, but it's a super tall pin. So compared to his MV Tour, the pin was closer to his BAL. This one's higher up and a little bit left.
See, I think Michael's having a hard time committing to the shot at this point.
Well, I think when your ball stands up and goes left or stands up and goes right, yeah, it's a.
Well, that might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think the problem with the super tall pins is because the pattern is so short in the middle, it just stands up instantly.
Michael hard at it, and he had a chop earlier of the 3-pin off the 6-10. This time he chops the 3-6 off the 10. That's 2 chops in 3 frames for Mike Mirable. And Joey Transu
looking at another ball. Is that
Joey Transu with a 27-pin lead on the bench, and doesn't even have a double.
That might be the Paragon, and I believe it's a pin down one. He was using that in the matches at the end. So I like the idea of going to pin down because, like, again, it's going to clear that part of the lane a little bit better, not stand up as fast. I should give him a little bit of left. Big core, though.
So, Chris, that is really one of the theories that you have used that goes against a lot of the conventional thinking.
People don't read. People don't know math.
A lot of people, a lot of people believe pinup is length and flip, and you believe the opposite, right?
It's not. It's all facts.
Well, yeah. Okay. I won't say believe you.
I can show you videos to prove it.
Okay. There you go. That's very interesting. So, something to think about when you're thinking about ball layouts is. What is pinup really, and what is that might go bad at? Oh no, he makes the 2-4-8.
So I believe one of your guys on Chris Prather made a video on that.
We've talked about it a little bit. We don't divulge too much about it, but I can tell you a funny thing about the Masters this week is that my one staff guy never, until last year, never threw pin down in his life. So we drew him some pin down balls.
Jake?
Yeah, never threw pin down balls.
Jake Peters.
This week at the Masters, we drew 3 balls for the Burn squad, and they were pin in a palm. And he sent me a text after the first game. He goes, I don't know how you know that stuff, and they don't.
Well, it's true. It is against the conventional wisdom. That's for sure.
It's just math.
Great shot there by Joey.
Math and science, you can't beat it. It's hard to talk about this on the air, but
that's what I like about science. There's no one answer.
We didn't bowl in sports shots for forever. So obviously, most of the time we're on house shots. You have a ski slope effect. A pin-up ball doesn't hook until it finds friction. No ball really does, but obviously a pin-up ball responds faster to friction. When you have a ski slope, the ball slides down the lane. Now the friction's at like 35, 40 feet. It stands up and goes. On a sport shot, the pattern's flat front to back. Your ball is going to stand up much faster because it finds the friction faster. Just common sense. So the pin down balls on a ski slope shot, they don't pick up until 10, 15 feet later because it takes so long to transition to it. So we go, oh, it rolled early. That's why it didn't finish. That's not what happened. The ball just never had a chance to hook.
Interesting. And can Joey get the double?
Blows
That
out the
time
seven
he
this
rips
time.
the rack.
7 out.
No 7, no blower 7 that time. And Joey Tranzu threatening to make this a runaway match. Michael Mirable needs to make a move right now to try to stay in this match.
He's going to stay with the Paragon, which I think is a good idea. Just
well, it's almost like you talk about carry down, you know, and people
somewhat
are like,
mythical too.
there's so much oil at the end of the lane. Well, there isn't because balls flare. I mean, unless it's urethane. What's really happening, as I see it, is the
standing up faster.
The ball's hooking at your toes. Standing up faster, it doesn't save its energy and can't carry in the back. There's a good shot by Mike.
I mean, you were at the Masters this week. Classic example of it. The front of the lane, you could see the ball. You could see the pin-up balls just stand up and go dead straight.
I saw balls hook 4 or 5 times, different times.
Particularly the pin-up balls.
They would read at your toes and read by the dots. They'd read again by the arrows. They'd read again in the mid lane, and again in the mid lane, and again in the back. I saw a ball hook 5 times. I'm not kidding.
Absolutely,
it was crazy. And there were some lanes, like lane 74 was on the end, right against the wall, and there was air blowing right over it. And the ball hooked it as if the lane had not had any oil on it whatsoever.
Yeah, Prather said the one lane 70 or something like that.
74, I'm telling you.
Big
Great
there.
shot by Mike.
See the difference in ball motion, though.
Yeah.
Gets
down layout.
further down the
Yep.
lane.
Ball's cleaner through the front.
Yeah.
Smoother shape off the back of the lane because it's not going forward. Now you see the ball actually going sideways at the back. And when I say sideways, you can actually see the logo turning to the left where his other balls were going forward.
That's right. That's right.
He just proved a point. Thank you very much there, Michael.
Math and science.
And visual. It comes down to what you see, too. And I think that's the hardest thing is people, when you bowl, you can't see the first 15 feet. So unless you're a person looking for the first 15.
It's really true. I talk about that a lot. I'm like, you need somebody scouting you and repping you because you can't tell what your ball does till it comes in your field of view. And there's so much that happens early on.
So it becomes a field thing. That's left again.
And through the beak. Lucky not to leave a baby split.
Yeah. So
this is why I think Wilbur has so many 300s and he cheats the system. I mean, I've never seen a ball of his land before the dots. So he just takes the front of the lane out of play. And I think he gets an accurate read on what he sees. Because he actually sees the ball.
Land.
He sees the ball hit it land, and he actually sees how the ball reacts, even in the front.
And I think he gets the ball on 13 and 14 every week.
It seems that way, right?
Well,
when I see videos.
Do you
It's
see
always
that? Right.
13
Is that
and
what he shot 900 on?
He shot 900 and he shot 300 this week there.
Did he really?
Number
That's
677, I believe.
crazy. Yeah, whatever it is.
I love John. He knows I'm only kidding with him.
But I mean, like you said, it's hard for people to see that first part of the lane. And I could be honest with you. I mean, from our standpoint, we're into shop watching. It becomes much easier from the big screen TV when you're further back. Even like I was saying today, if you were looking left or right, you could see the ball actually hit the lane and hook. But if you're sitting right behind it, you don't see it as much.
You can't always see it.
It's
right.
easier to see from the side. You'll be like, oh, I saw that ball just go up, just stand up. So it's just things you watch. But when we work with our personal staff guys, that's what we really try to teach them. And so Prather's become really good at that. He has a better feel for it. But
well, speaking of your personal staff guys, congrats to Mr. Packy Hanrahan.
Yeah.
Winning in a cakewalk. Great shot there by Joey. Winning in a cakewalk in Kokomo, leading by a ton, and walking away with the one game on TV.
I think I was more nervous sitting in the shop watching his mom and I talking and texting, and I've been obviously on the shows with Prather and these other guys, and I get nervous when Prather's on the show too, but watching Packy, I mean, just for our bowling center at Nutmeg, coming from the junior program, that was so very special, and the kids actually, were watching him and stuff, so that's a great shot.
Big shot, carry it.
You can see the total difference in ball motion. I mean,
getting himself back into this match. Hold on, guys. That's going to be a 16-pin deficit now.
Yep.
We'll take a look at the scores here.
Climbing out of the hole is Mike. He can get it to within 6 here. We thought this was going to be a Joey Tranzu runaway.
The right ball motion. That's what it's about.
What it is.
I say
his ball now is 10 feet cleaner through the middle of the lane.
Yeah,
and now when it gets to that little OB area, it actually stands up off of it.
Right. Right. Amazing. Amazing when you know what you're doing and know what you're talking about. Can Mirabile make it 4?
That's a good one.
Another good
shot. Dead flush. Hello. 6-pin match. Can Joey Transu get up and
Tremendous
answer?
4 shots.
Can he answer? Mirabile was written off for dead last match. He was written off for dead in the position round. He doubles in the 10th to shoot 161 and hold his position in the step ladder. He threw a 7-10 in the hole in the 10th frame, was written off till RJ Broge did the same thing and gives him new life. He was written off in this match and he went the last 4. Can you imagine if he were to hang on and win this tournament? How many lives does he have?
That's
pretty good
stay
shot
in the
by
lead.
Joey, and he rips the rack, gets the 7 to go.
Little
All
firmer with that
power. Yes, he's giving it the business now at the bottom. Transu. And Transu up to now a 16-pin lead. Obviously cannot be shut out in the match, but this is a huge shot for Joey to set himself up for the 10th.
Taking a little bit of extra time here.
249 out for Transu, 233 out for Mirabile. Mirabile chopping 2 3-6-10 combinations early in the match. What do we think? Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking that was pretty good.
Just shrapnel. Joey Transu pacing to 229 now. So Mirabile can punch to force Joey to get the first one.
Bruce, I remember in East Hartford when we did the interview with Joey, he mentioned when he's bowling his best, he doesn't think anybody can beat him.
Yes, he did say that, didn't he? And
he's been on his best for the last month.
He might be feeling that way right now.
And he bowled, and he came out of the morning squad, right? I believe he told me he didn't bowl 5
No, he did not bowl 5 tournaments last year, so he qualified. He had to bowl this morning. That's another good one.
That's pretty good.
Get it. He's got it.
Because that ball was left, and you see the difference. That was left and it still held compared to the other balls when they were left. They really came hard.
Joey was 7th this morning, shooting 135 over. 250, 2-0, 210, 235, 228.
That's really good.
On this, that's real good. Mark Bouchard, high qualifier this morning at plus 221. Second, Rob Gotterbarn, who missed the step ladder by 1 pin.
Cut this morning, plus 67, Matt Brockett.
Yep. Mirabile needs
pretty
it,
good.
needs it.
Oh!
Ring 10, you dog.
That one stopped just a little bit in front of the pocket.
Couldn't get it to go. And Joey Transu, walking it off, knows that he has this match in hand.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
212 maximum. You would need a 4 count or something really nasty from Joey.
2 of his shots have gone Brooklyn on this lane.
Well, that's true. We who do we make the call?
We saw what happened
he's going
last
for
match.
4, and they got 4, so it's happened. Let's first things first. Mirabile needs this spare and gets it. And now strike for 212. Joey Transu pacing to 229. He only needs even 6 would probably do it, right? It'd be awfully close. 6 or 7. So short of a huge gaping split, Joey Transu will go on to face Bill Webb. Bill Webb leading this tournament by over 200 pins.
He needs 6 on the first, 6 and 3 to win by 1.
There you go.
All right.
And there's the crumbling bucket he was looking for. And that was a much more iffy strike than the ring 10 he just left. But funny, that's Michael's most solid performance. This is his highest game by far of the last 3. And now he's likely going to lose it.
I think he just looked at Chris and said that's the best match I've bowled.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's right about that. And here goes Transu for the win.
It's pretty good.
A little high.
And
Trip four. No doubt about that one. And it will be Joey Transu moving on to face Bill Webb. Bill will come on and have as many as 3 shots on each lane practice. And we're going to stay live, folks, and we will go right into this final match. Getting some nice viewership numbers. Want to say everybody for tuning in. If you like and share the feed, you are automatically entered into a raffle for one of 2 bowling balls from Island Bowling Supply, thanks to Joe Farley and our friend Peter Hakem down on Long Island.
Looks like he's going to try a Legion Solid here just for fun.
This is a victory
look how straight that went.
Joey, and
don't think we'll see that ball in the title
nothing
match.
much useful there, but all right. Joey disposing of Michael Mirable. So a dangerous Joey Transu against the dominant player of the day, Bill Webb. Should be quite a match, guys. What do you think?
240 is a big number for how tough they've been. 212 was a good number.
212 was a great number. Mirable said, he called me over. He goes, it was house money game. He said because getting through to that game shouldn't have happened. So
he threw 4 balls in that match too.
Yeah,
4 different balls. He got to 212. That's
once he got to the right piece. I mean, we could see the difference when he got to the right piece. I mean, ring 10 at the end there.
I wonder if we have a record most balls used in a single game.
Whoever had a demo day.
Well, no, I'm on a NEBA telecast.
No, that's what I'm saying. Whoever had a personal demo day, I'm saying.
Oh, there you go. Yes, exactly. Right. I guess they.
I feel like when we did, I feel like maybe Tyler Perry. I feel like when he obviously struggled at EP there, losing to Zimmerman.
Oh yeah, he did throw a few balls.
I think he changed balls a bunch of times trying to find something.
Now, what ball is that, guys?
That's a RST X3. It's a.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a 55 by 4.5 by 40 layout. People are going to say, how do you know that?
Well, probably because you drilled it. Or somebody in your employ.
No, I do. I do all Webb's work. So
do you?
It's and not that the other guys don't drill balls for him, but it's just a medium. So compared to the other guys that have super tall pins they're using, this would be like a medium pin height. So
this is the ball he's been throwing all day.
It's the one all day. I went over to the rack like game 3. I'm like, all right, what's he using? Because is it pin up or pin down? So usually what I do for Webb. He's unique compared to a lot of people. He gets 2 of every ball. If he likes, it's just Webb will say, "Draw me some balls." He gets one at 40 degree last angle, and the other ball is a 65 last angle. So they're always that setup. And usually that's why when we cross together, we'll just in practice we'll be like, "Is it pin up or pin down kind of day?" And we'll like talk about it. And he's just amazing, the guy. But yeah, nothing crazy. We went to this idea about 10 years ago when he came after he moved back from Florida and was bowling, stopped flying back and forth from Florida. But yeah, it's just try to simplify things for him a little bit. And the guy's so good. I mean, obviously, how many time champion there? 17? 17 or 18? You remember there, Bruce?
17 champion, 9-time bowler of the year.
Record for bowler of the years?
By far.
Yep.
By far. 3rd in titles.
And there's a lot of times.
But he's 10 behind Alex.
Yeah. The amazing thing, though, a lot of times you want bowler of the year with only winning like 1 title.
I know. Bill told me something very interesting. I interviewed him for the 50th anniversary, and we did a whole page on him. He said, my talent is making cuts. He said, what I do is I go around and I watch what people are doing, and I'm very observant.
He watches the hands.
I know about leverage. I know about hands. I know about roll. I keep it simple, and I know how to make cuts. And he may not always win. He may not always have
grinds them out.
The nuts, but he knows how to stay in the match.
Well, he doesn't. One thing I would say is what he does really well. He plays the lane very much front to back. We go to nationals with him. He bowls in our nationals group. I think he bowled with your group prior.
Oh, he's amazing.
But he's never going to throw the ball. He's never going to be standing, we'll say, laying the ball down at 30, going out to 5. He's going to play a 10-board belly max. Anywhere from a 4-board belly to a 10-board belly max.
That's it. Oh, yeah. 10. I'm not sure I've ever seen him.
Well, I'm saying like here.
Belly 10 board.
I'm saying like here's like 20 to 10. Like he's just feeding it from from 20 to 10.
Is it belly in that much?
It's enough. He's getting it out to the track, But
Yeah.
but the funniest thing I ever did talk about Webb is I bowled league one year at Amity, this one bowling center here. I was struggling, so we needed a sub one week. So Webb comes in to sub. And he shoots like 830, and I can't get over like 210. And I go, Webb, I said, and it might have been like the second game. He goes, Chris, the track hooks in every building.
It's true.
That's all he said. The track hooks in every building.
It's true.
And if you look at how he plays the lane 90% of the time, unless it's like, a shorter pattern where you have to play out on gutter, he's going to be putting the ball in that 7 to 12 zone in the mid lane.
I don't think I've ever seen him play. I've certainly never seen him play outside of 5 that I know of. Maybe I have.
He shot 300 back-to-back weeks when we went from Brockton to Cranston. We bowled on 37 feet and less. He shot 300 some over back-to-back, 250 over and 250 over, back-to-back weeks in qualifying because now he was banking them off the rim.
Crazy.
But in general, he's going to play the track. It's just amazing to watch.
There were 2 guys last night that I called out that I think could have been national champions depending on how their lives went. And one was Alex and the other was Webb.
Oh, absolutely.
I think they could have national titles and definitely could have made it their careers, but for whatever reason. And there's lots of reasons guys don't go on tour.
I'm going to tell you a funny thing you might not realize. Bill Webb has never bowled a PBA event in his life.
Is that right? Not a single one.
And he's never been on any ball staff.
Wow.
And we're talking about one of the greatest bowlers. And if we did a Mount Rushmore of NEBA, or just say New England bowling, not even people,
Sure. He'd be right on there.
He'd be
top
on
4, sure.
I'm saying.
Top 4, sure.
Yeah. So think of that. Never bowled a PBA event.
Yeah.
Never been in. Never on a ball staff, ever.
I'm going to tell you something else interesting about that wrist thing that he wears.
The Scalia splint?
I was looking for that. Couldn't find it. What's the name of it?
It's called a Scalia splint.
Lou
Scalia made them.
Oh, is that right?
Remember Lou Scalia?
I'm not sure.
Old school bowler?
They're not around anymore.
No. They went away in the 90s.
Yeah. So
I used to wear one when we all grew up bowling in juniors, and I used to wear one too. It does try and keep your forearm from tightening up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while we're gabbing, the match has started, and it is Joey starting on the left, and that would have been Webb's call because he was in the lead.
So he's going to make Joey finish the match.
Yes.
Right.
And watching him warm up, and I think Chris, you alluded to it earlier, is Webb has that miss from left that not a lot of players had today.
Yep, he has a little axis tilt, so it's going to help his ball stay there a little longer. Good crowd watching, by the way.
Yeah. Good crowd noise behind us a little bit. I was just thinking about. And the bar is open.
Good shot.
There it goes. Good shot. Rips the rack. No doubt about that one.
Now we're talking about how like Mirable's ball was hooking really early and stopping and going in each direction, and even Joey a little bit. His ball just stops. It doesn't keep going. It just, like you're saying, we got a little tilt, a little bit like you were saying, staying behind the ball. He's just a magician. It's truly one of the most unique things. We've had him come to the shop and we've filmed his release and put it in slow motion to try and see like what he does. It's just the things he does with his hand, like you're saying, like he watches other people. If he watches somebody like Colby bowl really well, he's going to try and figure out how to do what Colby's doing.
You know who he gave a lot of credit to coaching him was Becky's brother.
Yes.
What's his name?
Steve Craigling.
Steve Craigling. Steve always talked about leverage. He talked about using your body.
Wow, worst shot of the day.
Getting leverage up through the shot, and he credits Steve with a lot of his game. And there was, Steve hasn't even been around for 15 years.
Yeah,
like that. So,
when I first moved to Connecticut, Webb was getting his balls drilled. Well, they would get laid out by Steve. Steve would lay out all of his balls, and right before we started doing all of his work. But yeah, Steve did everything. He would take forever to do them. Steve was smart.
Oh, he was a
mathematician.
And he was a genius, and he
physics. Yeah,
behaved like a genius. Crazy genius, frankly. But yeah, sure, Steve. And Webb to
spare.
Stay clean and does it. Surprising miss by Webb.
I say worst shot of the day. There's still a little clammy in this place, so you're going to see him put his hand up toward the ceiling fan here, probably to try and.
$2,000 on top, guys, plus the free entry into the Tournament of Champions, which goes with every NEBA title, plus the shirt. And
it's all about the shirt.
It's all
about the shirt, baby. I am bowling. Thank you very much. And second, $12.50. So, and by the way,
can we
77 entries in this tournament. 40 will cash.
Unreal.
So pretty good money. And
I don't get why more people don't bowl it.
And there's Joey with a 4-pin. You like the shot, just a little bit high. Yeah, we had a potential. We could have taken 100 this morning. Ended up with 77 and took 27 of those into match play. Because we had 40 in the match play. The top 16 are eligible in points. 3 couldn't make it. That was Coco, Zimmerman, and who else?
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
It's just another incentive to come out here in bowl more. If you're in the top 16 in points, you get an automatic seed into match play in this tournament.
Which is a check.
Which is
an automatic
with
check.
all that guaranteed
which
money.
Is at least, I think it's at least 300 because it's 150 entry.
It was two the sheets right there.
Oh, hold on. What was the last cash? That's what we're looking for.
I think it's like 200. It was 200.
200, okay, sorry.
But either way, you're bowling for.
Well, that's pretty good money.
It works its way up, but the point is, I mean, it's a lot of bowling. You get to. I think the format's pretty cool.
The bonus pins make it very, intriguing.
Now this tournament does not count for points because not everybody can bowl it. That's the rule for a tournament to count for points.
Yep.
Also, shout out to the defending champion here, Jeremy Melito.
That's right.
If you're watching.
Jeremy was out at the Masters. And another 4-pin.
I thought he would have bowled because I know he drove home. I thought we would have saw him today.
I would.
I don't know if he didn't
have a lot of confidence after the Masters, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about the 5 tournaments. But
okay.
He wasn't happy with his Masters performance, and Jeremy's just a great player.
He and I texted on the way home. He was on the road, and we texted back and forth for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just try to tell him, you know what? Everybody has bad weeks.
Let me tell you, those tournaments out there and those conditions and the competition could make you question everything about your game.
That's exactly what I tried telling him. I'm like, listen.
The talent level out there is off the hook.
We have a great week out there. If we go out there and we have a great week, we feel really good. Then we bowl bad, and we were like, oh, I don't belong there. I told Jeremy, I said, you belong there. Everybody, look at the guys that had bad weeks besides you. There were 200 some other people.
There was 390 entries.
Right, there's 300 people that had bad weeks, so they didn't get checks.
They paid 93 checks.
Right, so 300 people had bad weeks.
The check was 102 over, and it just, hung in there. Brian Bourget, I believe, split one of the last checks at plus 102.
See if Webb can get it off his hands. He says his hand's a little clammy right now. That's a better shot.
And threw it hard. Mixer won't go with the 7.
But it's enough to keep a 1-pin lead, 2-pin lead.
Didn't really turn the corner very hard for Webb.
Yeah, his ball is not going to turn over hard. It's going to be just laying into the pocket.
He's got, looks like 6 marks, assuming Webb picks up this. And 1 strike in the first 6 frames.
And Joey's hit the pocket all 3 shots. It's just...
Yeah, his ball started to check up, and we talk about the move. What move do you make off of that?
Back-to-back 4-pins.
That's in the left
is
gutter.
he going to miss that?
Oh,
he makes it.
I thought it was in the left gutter. Thank God it was a mix.
I gave him the spare, too. Sheesh. Wouldn't want to have an announcer's curse or anything. Hey, everybody, if you can like and share the feed if you haven't already, please do so. Getting some nice viewership numbers going, and you'd be in the drawing for a free bowling ball from Island Bowling Supply.
So who doesn't like free bowling balls, Bruce?
Nobody doesn't like free bowling balls. Everybody likes free bowling balls. Free bowling balls, good.
Not sharing and liking the feed, bad.
Bad. And you even use a random number generator, right, Kyle?
I did.
Look at you.
You go in, you like and share the feed. I set up a random number generator, and if your name happens to correspond with the number that generates and you've liked and shared the feed, I send your name to Bruce. You get a
Winner.
You get a free bowling ball.
Winner. There we go.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner. We have an exactly tied match, folks. It is Joey Transu against Bill Webb for the championship match of the Cambridge Credit Counseling Corporation Invitational. Thanks so much to Christopher Viali and Amy and everybody over at Cambridge Credit for the sponsorship. And a little less drama on that 7-pin to make that spare. And, you know, there's a philosophy I just heard Webb say he's going to go wash his hands, and there's a big controversy over that. Do you guys ever wash your hands in the middle of a block?
My ball will go through the ceiling.
I don't do anything in the middle of a block.
A lot of people don't do it. I occasionally do it because I get so much scudge from the tape and everything else. I sometimes have to do it, but I take my time and I really, you know.
If my hand gets wet, it's going to put the ball to the ceiling.
Well, wet. I mean, you dry it, of course.
No, but I'm saying, but it creates tackiness.
Yeah, it is an issue.
So we turned a pair on here, so Webb can.
That's
threw that hard. He almost got the
see, we
tap from behind.
Turned a pair on here so he can at least keep his hand over a blower.
Look at that. Oh, that's a nice. Now Webb turned on. You can probably see it on the live stream. Way over on 29 and 30, they turned it on. Webb's holding his hand over the blower.
You ever see Auburn when he put his hand into the ceiling fan one time?
He hit it, yeah.
Yeah, just nicked it. We would laugh.
Yeah.
So here he can't get up high enough.
He didn't need that fingertip anyway. It's fine.
But yeah, it's
Joey.
It was a little muggy in here today. I mean, obviously the weather's getting really nice outside. So
once again, 1-pin match. One strike in 8 attempts by these two great players. So what does that tell you about this grind-out pattern?
It's going to come down to shot making at this point. So Joey's hit the pocket 3 out of 4 frames. Webb's got the only strike. And his last 2 shots, I believe, are both Swisher 7-pins.
Oh, yeah, both just light mixers.
So
and Joey was last 2 before these was 2 4-pins. Joey Transu, left lane, looking for his first strike of the match. Over the top, throws it out, and gets the 4-9 to go. Not another 4-pin, not a 9-pin. Gets him to topple for his first strike of the match. Down exactly 1 pin. Let's see if the blower helps Webb's hand at all. Hand feeling a little clammy. He went to wash his hands. And now he held his hand over the blower. Let's see if this has any effect on this shot, guys. What do you think?
Again, I'm not an advocate for doing that in the middle of a match, but I also am not as good as Bill Webb. So
he's obviously done this before.
Yeah, I think in general the attitude would be don't wash your hands in the middle of bowling.
I stayed on his
He
thumb
got it
longer.
off it open. No, he pulled that. Oh, but he
stayed on his hand
through
longer.
the front. Yeah. Looked like he got out of that clean. I thought it might have been left, but he got more speed on it.
He got it up over the front.
Up over the, yeah. That was more like the way he's been playing them. Straight up at him. But it was.
Funny thing about Webb, he uses no rosin, no conditioner, no beam, nothing. He doesn't even use a chamois.
I used to pat the ball. You know, before they outlawed that, I used to hit the funnel, and the stuff's blowing everywhere. Now I never use it. It just gets so clammy.
I use conditioner all over my thumb.
Do you? Now, does that make less friction?
No, it creates a little bit of grip, but the thing about conditioner is it gives us, when it's humid like this stuff, it gives you the same feel as if it was cold. So I just believe in doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Webb for the double.
That was quick off his thumb.
Lay off. Gets it.
That was a little quicker off the thumb that time.
I think that was a successful hand wash, guys. What do you think? Webb, because he's rubbing he rubs his hand against his pants. He comes up.
Shrugging his shoulders.
Webb comes out of the sink and into the double. So good job there, Bill Webb. Now can Joey match this match? Getting interesting, guys. Let's see if Joey Transu can double here.
So I think he's got his son over there helping him out like he did at the East Hartford event.
Oh, Jameson? Yep.
Yeah, I believe he's sitting over there.
Jameson Matthew, very good.
Speaking with him all day.
Left-handed player.
I love Jameson's game.
Won last year.
That's left.
And that's
hard left.
That
was way left. That was about 10 left down the lane.
Yeah, unfortunately got a little Yankee off his hand and couldn't even pull out the Brooklyn. So here he goes for the 6-9 combination. Won't lose any count, but unfortunately needed the double to keep up with Webb. Webb led this tournament by over 200 pins. Dominant performance. And does snap it off. That attitude looked like it started hooking.
It hit the lane and went left.
It's not supposed to do a lot of that, but it did some of it. But all right, let's see if Transit can figure this out. 1 strike in 6 frames. He's clean, but has Webb figured it out, and is he going to put some more strikes together?
And you got to think the only strike he's thrown, Transu, he tripped the 4 into the 9, so he hasn't dead flushed any ball yet. He left 2 4-pins before that. Not sure what he left on the very first one, but he definitely 4-pinned, almost 3 straight.
First frame was a flat 10.
Yep, and then they're all 4-pins.
4 pins, yeah.
And then he tripped the 4 into the 9, and now obviously,
yeah, the 4 into the 9 wasn't flush, so.
Maybe he should wash his
went
hands.
High, so yeah. Seems to be the trend. Maybe we start something new trend here. And that's definitely
way
right. Oh my gosh, he says this one's not going to be high.
And that's
I've never seen Joey so. By the time he gets to the final match, I've never seen him so lost, honestly.
And Joey has won a title in this building. Won the tournament champions about 3 or 4 years ago over Nicole Trudell.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I was there for that. I remember that match.
That was a great match.
Well, it's very unusual to see Joey fish around like this. You think a ball change, guys? What do you think he's going to do?
I don't think he's changing balls.
I think it's just coming down to shot making.
Yeah. I think the problem is he's gotten a couple up the lane. He's 4-pin, so now he stepped left and said, oh, let me try throwing it that direction, and then the ball went on the other side of the track. So
now, is that from – could he be seeing some transition from the way that Bill's playing the lane?
I don't think so. I just think obviously he's – like we talked about before, the moves were pretty quick, so now he's starting to see it. He 4-pin. Probably made a move tripped the 4-9, got lucky enough to get the 4-9 because he probably moved off the 4-pins. Probably moved about another 3 or 4, tried to feed it to the track, and now he is throwing a pin-up ball, so now his ball is going to stand up a little bit. So, you know, it's how do you get it to that spot and make sure it doesn't go over the other side of the track. That's going high.
Left, too. And it lays off.
We talked about this before.
For the high flush Packer, that would be a 24-pin lead for Bill Webb.
That's the miss I was talking about.
We were just talking about that. He had left. He had left. Nobody had.
And we all said left off his hand, through the beak, lays off, and throws a flush strike.
I mean, high flush, no doubt.
Dead flush strike. So Webb pacing to 218. Transu pacing to 194, a 24-pin lead for Bill Webb. Can almost run away with it here. In fact, Transu's high at this point, 224. And Webb will be in the 220s, in the high 220s with a strike here. That's right.
Get the hill.
That's right. Gets it up to the hill and rips the rack. He's got right, he's got left. Do you wonder why he led by 200? Bill Webb.
We call that touch.
Just needs mark. Joey Transu misses even once. It's going to be Webb's title. His 18th, right, guys? 18th singles title.
Makes you wonder how many majors are in there.
Yeah, that's a good question. Webb back over on the hand blower.
That's a good shot.
Transu, good looking shot. Okay, still alive.
So they got 224 on the out.
He's going to need some help from Webb, but first, he needs this one to control at least some kind of destiny.
Webb's pacing 227.
Yep.
And Joey got 224 if he strikes out. So Joey must get this one, and then Webb would just need to.
Joey cannot miss.
Webb just needs to pace out with a good count on the first shot here in the 9th.
Well, if I can predict, I think Webb's going to pack this one in the 9th, and that's going to be that. But first things first, Joey must strike here to stay in the match. He's been struggling to strike all day. Only his 2nd strike in 8 shots.
His lane's giving him trouble where he's going high and then moved and whiffed the head pin by throwing it.
Yep.
So I think I would move further left and avoid DOB.
That's what he did.
That's what he did.
And he brings it up flat 10. Moves deeper in the oil, goes down flat 10. Now 204 max for Joey Transu. And Webb can go open even now and pace out to 204. So it will be Bill Webb winning.
I think Webb's got to buy dinner tonight.
Cambridge Council Invitational. And another title for Bill.
Fridays, here we come.
Number 18th, there we go. And unfortunately, Joey just could not find his
but think of it though, Joey's
striking line.
Title match 3 straight months or 3 straight weekends,
events,
3 straight weekends. We'll say.
Joey, yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's bowling really, really well right now.
Well, I must say, guys, the right guy won. I mean, Webb, whenever you have a round robin and some guy runs away with it.
And then you get to the stepladder, things
and then
just
you get to the stepladder, it's just, you never know. So, we do it for the
hand washing was a trick, though.
I guess
it
so.
Hasn't missed since.
You're going to start a trend now. So.
That's really good.
And boom, all done. Look at the hand. Look at the applause for Bill Webb. Absolutely running away with it. Back 5 and hands down.
Mount Rushmore.
The winner, absolutely.
Senior taking home another title.
He's a senior now, isn't he?
Second year senior.
That's depressing.
It's scary.
Well, it's not points, though. Points don't.
Does he need an over-under
partner? For this. Maybe he does, yeah. Need an under partner.
I think he has Widmer.
That would be a
I can dream.
7 pin in the 230s for Webb. Assuming he makes this, we'll watch Joey finish this out, and then we'll set up the camera. I'll do a quick interview with Bill, and some questions about how he played the lane and things like that. Makes the 10 pin no problem, and have to ask him about the hand washing, about the Steve Craigling, all kinds of stuff that came up.
So you might have to check his hand for the pine tar,
Might, yeah.
Just ask him if he's going to go into his pocket and buy me dinner. That's all I care about knowing.
Listen, my question is, you said Fridays. Out of all the restaurants, you picked Fridays.
I think he has a different choice. I don't know what it's called. It's
So, guys.
Joey Garlics?
Joey Garlics.
Joey Garlics? Okay.
So, guys, there's a Ruth's Chris right down the street.
I was going to say, there is Ruth's Chris's right down the street.
If you want an actual steak,
listen, Webb
there's a chance for that.
Webb might be cheaper than most people I know, so he's like, who might be the Chris Barnes of NEBA? So we got to keep it in the budget line.
The Chris Barnes of NEBA.
Well, in that case, there's every fast food restaurant you would need.
Joey Transu, ring 10. And lots of folks coming up to congratulate Mr. Webb.
He's definitely a crowd favorite.
Oh yeah, everybody loves Bill. He's the best, and from right around this area. So Joey just pacing out on the 10 pin, and congratulations to Webb, and thanks so much to Chris Forey for sitting in with us, and we will. Thanks to Becky and Danny and Debbie and everybody running the event. Thanks so much to Callahan's for their sponsorship, for everything that they do, and, of course, Cambridge Credit. And we will move the camera and do an interview with Bill Webb coming up in just a few minutes. I guess we're done, right?
I think we're good.
I think we're done, guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. You're in. If you liked and shared, you're in for the raffle. So we'll talk to you all later.